Good morning. Yes. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning. Hot Girl Entrepreneurship over on Insta. Good morning. Sunrise video. Top 10 comedian mistakes via the business skills that comedians lack. Is this going to be nervously awesome? Yes, because you're in for a treat. The treat of all treats, which is winning at being a stand-up comedian while we are progressing forward with business skills. Tip number 1, just the tip. Yes, just the tip. Oh, Larry, is this going to be magically funny while being an MBA in a comedy? Yes, because just the tip goes into representation, because we want to be repped by the world, not just by our own one agent who is going to try to get a 360-degree deal, meaning all things, all people, everywhere, all the time, owning us. No, 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 no. Remember, we are comedians rising. We are not going to fall for that trick, right? This is how we're going to do it, because we do not want to fire our existing manager, right? Keeper manager. This is how we get slutty while we make everyone around us rich. This is how. A second agent, a second manager that is unofficial. To me, the entire world, including my audience, is now a second manager. What do I mean? I mean this: if you bring me a deal, I will pay you commission. Boom! What am I doing? Am I screwing my William Morris CAA agent at IMG? No, I am not. I am double paying 2 agents. Think of just the tip as a 3-way, where I am the meat in the sandwich. The sandwich being the bread of IMG and the bread of CAA with the bread of Ford Robert Black, right? Ford Robert Black. Good morning. Welcome back. And nice to meet you. Oh, it's a little dark. Oh, this video is going to get both darker and brighter because this is sunrise videos. Magic's about to happen. Bread, IMG. Larry Cheng's the meat. Bread, William Morris CAA. Bread, Ford modeling agency. Think of this as a 5-way. Think of this as a 5-way because remember, we're still on tip number 1. No cut required, because think of this as a 5-way where I'm the guy who is the only person in the sexual arena putting in just a tip with 4 APIs, 4 hot women. Yes, Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. This just got more awesome. What are we doing? We're doing top 10 business skills that comedians need to have in order to be a working comedian. Is this tuition $35,000? Yeah, it is. Let's get you all $35,000 in return on investment, which is one of the 15 tips for business that are in my top 10 list. 5-way. 5-way goes like this. You have a manager. Maybe he's your friend, maybe he's your friend's manager, but you now have a manager that you're pretend having manage you, right? So you're not even getting slutty with the other agents. You're just having a pretend agent who really doesn't think about you, really doesn't care about you, and is definitely not selling you gigs, right? Not not working super hard selling you gigs. This is how we rise, by putting in just the tip. Point number 1 of the top 10 tips, one of the 15 tips that I will be doling out. It is this. You get a deal. You get a deal that came from outside of your agent. You pay your agent 7% or 15% or whatever you negotiated. Let me repeat that. Somebody loves you, loves your YouTube stream, loves your Insta presence, loves your Twitter, whatever game, X. Now you have a deal. You're doing a comedy night off script where you weren't even supposed to go on. Now you're acing it. Now you get a deal. You pay commission to the person who brought you the deal, probably another comedian named Larry Cheng. I bring you the deal. Am I your agent? No, I'm your stand-up comedian. Focus. Then you will pay 2 agents. Oh, Larry, is this when you're like with one 3-way with 2 girls? Yes, because they're both gonna need just the tip to start. That's why you're the only talent and they're whores or pimps selling your talent. So when you sell your talent to somebody else, you got to pay your agent. I almost said pimp. Let's walk over through an example of this, because we can massively benefit from just tip number 1, which is why I didn't like have a long preamble. Oh, before I even give you the sexy stuff, let me tell you about my background. Nobody cares, okay? Nobody wants to be sold Miami Brickle comedy night with Larry Cheng. Nobody wants to be sold that, right? I just need the money so that way I don't have to quit, or I can drive my rideshare car less and do more in stand-up comedy. That's why we're here. Let's walk through an example. Let's walk through an example. Let's walk through an example. This isn't coming through as well. Is that better? I know that's better. This is the mistake that comedians make. They add friction by saying, talk to my agent, when they themselves are confused about what the deal is. Let's walk through an example for just the tip. We get a deal from one of our haters that now loves us, okay? We now have a deal. We don't take that lead, that business lead, and flip it to a person that's half representing us, okay? Because we don't know that they're on your team, your snowball rolling down a hill, your Hollywood stand-up comedian train leaving the station. We don't know that they're on the team fully. Therefore, we need to grab them, throw them in the caboose, and pull them. What metaphors and analogies are these? Which is, when we get a deal, we pay them. Here's another example. I'm obviously a model, right? And so who reps me? Ford. Dude named Robert Black. When I do a modeling gig, what happens? Women throw vagina, right? Now, I take those sexual energies, just the tip, remember, and I'm like, who reps you? Are you even a model? Do you like your manager? What was the last deal that you're working on? What is your next deal? Can I get in on that? I should be a Nike model. Look, I know that you have been repped by, you've done print work for Nike. Tell you what, thank you for thinking that I should be the Nike rep, or think you should the Nike model. Do you see how this is flow? I'm going from Nike model to Nike rep. That was when you get a bunch of free shiitake from New Balance, which is actually point number 15 of the top 10 business mistakes that comedians make prior to winning at stand-up comedy. Ford model reps me, Robert Black. Hot Girl is repped by IMG. If you get me that deal with Nike, Hot Girl, I will pay you as if you're my agent. Hello? Do you see how I am actively making the entire world my super agent? How do agents work? They work by sussing and curating out the best emerging talent. They themselves rely on their stable and portfolio of winners. This is why you read the comments. This is why you read the comments, because tip number 0 is wire up, baby. Wire up. You're taking the entire world and making them your salesperson. Because remember, if you can't find the salesperson, you're the salesperson. Peter, my mentee, Peter Thiel, Thiel. He's actually low-key hilarious because he is the retard that I first whispered to. Did you just mentor Peter Thiel? You thought I was gonna say, did you just say the word retard? Yeah, because comedians, you're retarded. And who is the vagina whisperer giving you just the tip? Point number 1, still, because let's bring this all the way home for just the tip. When you're repped by Ford, you feel like all the deals from other orgs are closed to you. Who cares about focus? Not on production quality, but thank you for telling me that my microphone could have sounded better. Ford, you are repped by IMG, and you're a hot girl, and you're now telling me about a deal that I should waitlist myself for. If I get in to a deal where I waitlisted and then, oh my God, thank you for showing up. We had a 6'5" stud pro athlete, Flake, who is of Chinese descent. Larry Cheng flaked. So I'm glad that you showed up, because what are you, about 6'5"? Do you weigh about 220, just like Russell Wilson, right? Let's see if these clothes fit. Oh, you brought similar clothes? You're hired. Do you now, that's a verbal deal, now you're in. Now do you screw your agent because your agent didn't give you that deal? No, that's what just the tip is. That's what 5-way is. That's what 3-way is, which is I'm not going to yell at her for bringing her hotter friend into the 3-way that is now borderline pressing a 5-way. I will not penalize you. I will only reward you with 99 days of Christmas? Nope. With the top 10 business tips that kill comedians dead before they even get started. Tip number 1, just the tip. Reward and thank all of your faux agents, all of your pseudo agents. Is this Larry Cheng being your super Asian? It is, because I am not your agent, even though my Harvard Law School keynote kind of was aced. And this will probably go right into sports management, how to rise as a sports agent while being mother scratching hilarious. Because step 2 is we do not want to delegate CRM ever. We are our own business manager. We don't delegate it to a retard who professes that, oh, Larry, you're such a star. I'm totally going to take you to the next level. You're just trying to sleep with me? You're just trying to bang me? Because I only date after you, the hot girl, bring me a deal. That's why I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to blonde billionaires. And it turns out I forgot about 2 of them because I literally am shitting out blonde billionaires. Hazel Grace Dirksen. Oh, I know how you get all this vagina. It's because you read this book, Neil Strauss, The Game. Neil Strauss, okay? He's a retard. And he's 5'2", and he's bald. Is this politically incorrect? It is thermodynamically correct because we want to manage our own putty. We don't want to delegate it to like Bumble, even though we love Whitney Wolf. We want to do our own cell phone number underwriting. Bumble, pun intended. So there was sexual fraud. Oh yeah, there was sexual fraud leading to battery and assault on Bumble. How do you solve it? Not kick ethnicities off, South Asian, pun intended, okay? What are you doing, Pakistani and Indian people? Not only HR violations, what is your country battling? London pun intended. Puns are the lowest form of comedy, yes, but in certain platforms, needing to hide true messaging. Because we do not want to delegate managing our CRM. We do not want to let Instagram do our DMs. We want to collect cell phone numbers on a piece of paper. Punching it in a phone and letting them touch your phone, maybe my burner phone, maybe my slutty phone, but not my real cell phone number, because I carry, obviously, an array of cell phone, which is specifically 650-283-8008. I'm not just gonna hand a girl and just let her input my address book. Why? Because I don't delegate CRM. Perfectly dovetailing into point number 3 inside 15 of the top 10 tips for us comedians to have to avoid getting our comedy career unalived. Unalived meaning financially dead because we don't have business acumen. Oh, Larry, is this why you spoke at Yoga Journal? Not because you're an accredited yogaist teacher? You were teaching hot girls who do yoga to not go bankrupt as a yoga teacher? Yeah, similar shit. Just like music, okay? Just like music. No more starving artists because we now have a double identity. Oh, Larry, Sometimes your business advice, it's just too hilarious. Oh, you think it's too funny? Well, guess what? I have to talk like this because jokes seep into your left brain and right brain. Because what are jokes? It's the interruption of the expected. Did I just become your professional Major League Baseball teammate? I did. Larry, you're just a DEI hire, which nobody ever says, but everybody should think. Because of the 5 tools available for a baseball player, I possess none of the 5 tools. How DEI am I mentoring, for a second time, Barack Obama? Because the mayor's a retard. Cam Harris, fucking retarded. Who's a Dem now on November 7th? That's also double identity, which is tip number 3, reiterated. Find another identity that is basically more of your own identity, but temporarily forked. I look like a Republican. I get hit on as if I'm a Republican. Mother scratchers. No strikes here. I am a Dem, which is Mr. President, President number 44, not 45 and 47, Trump, and friend Barack Obama. Let's replace Saul Alinsky with Larry Cheng. Saul, S-A-U-L, Alinsky, A-L-I-N-S-K-Y. Why? We're switching teams, baby. We're switching teams. Because it looks like that socialist communist team, I don't think that's going to work out. And having a DEI hire that manages water, India, I'm looking at you, baby. Why is one person in charge of the water who doesn't have a chemical engineering degree from the University of Illinois with commensurate work? Why is it that the leader at the top would take 25 years to get my 4-year degree from the University of Illinois? Do you see how I just switched identities? But you didn't know that I switched identities because you just felt like I was just more. That's what we want to do as comedians. Do we want to be the nervous person whose balls come up into our stomach because we are so scared of 3 minutes? Because if we don't ace 3 minutes, we're going to have to go back to Travis, Garrett, and Ryan Graves' driving app, Uber. Are we going to have to go back to doing that if we don't ace it? Guess what? You're not going to do well. Isn't this some Eminem 8 Mile quote? I think it is. I think it is. That's why when we ace it, we end up doing. That's why when we ace it, we end up doing. That's why we double dip. That's why we double dip, because we're adding to it. In the same way that I'm adding in streams of income. That's point number 17 inside the top 10 tips that comedians need to have as far as business skills. Finishing up on double identity, which is point number 3. Finishing that up. This is also impersonations. Am I impersonating my baseball coach? It's not an impersonation if you don't know who Augie Garrido is. That's what makes being a double kid, you know, where your parents get divorced or your dad walked out on the family and now you just got the one family, and then, or now you've got 2 Christmases because you're high middle class, right? And so what is going on with you being a double kid, right? There's 2 versions of you celebrating 2 Christmases. That's why if we had hardship initially as a kid, we now can be an excellent double kid. And so that's why some comedians become amazing, because that doubleness is woven right into the work.